La- Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Justin Ng's Zoom sharing session number 4. Today, we'll be having an amazing conversation with a very amazing person. But before that, let me just introduce this session. This is my Zoom sharing session, which I organize to just have a platform to discuss things with people, everyday people like you and me, to share about their thoughts and their life. The session is a very casual session. It's a sharing session that blends informational presentation and an interview with a healthy dash of audience interaction. But today, it looks like our audience won't be joining us, so we'll be having an intimate one on one coffee session with our guests. This session focuses on sharing information, discussions, and hearing from learning from each other. Today, we're getting to know a person well known among the public speaking community in Malaysia, somebody who I find very admirable and unique. She's none other than your friendly Toastmaster, Patricia Yap. Patricia, would you kindly say hi?
Hi, everyone. I am most humbled by Justin's introduction, and I can't wait to share more with you guys together with our fabulous host, Justin.
Thank you. We'll be getting to know a bit more about our special guests later on. But now let me introduce myself. As I mentioned, my name is Justin Ng. I'm a researcher at the University of Malaya based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. My passion lies in research, but I also love speaking to people. I also love meeting people, and I love to meet all kinds of people, whether they are from the STEM field or the engineering field or the business field. I just want to meet people from all walks of life. And this is what the sort of session that I am passionate in organizing in, because I get to get people from all places into this little Zoom session. Now, I would like to ask if Patricia Yap would like to introduce herself.
Absolutely. Justin, as I was listening to my introduction, I got the idea why we got connected because there are so many things we share in common. First off, I actually am also an enthusiast in research because when I was doing my MBA, I just found out hey, there are so many things that we can find out about ourselves if we really delve into any subject that you are interested in. As for me, my research was actually was on communication and leadership. So that's how I became a Toastmaster. Another second thing that I had with Justin in common, definitely not age, not gender, but what we had in common is we like to study people. We like to be around with people. We like to connect with people. And that's why I guess we ended up. I'm so delighted to be your guest, Justin.
It's it's truly a pleasure to have like-minded people in this session, and I would definitely want to know more about your past research history, your experience in communication and leadership, and your passion to be around people. So let's start this conversation off some common ground, something we both share, and that is our passion and commitment towards Toastmasters. Now, if our audience do not know what Toastmasters is, it's basically a non-governmental organization that exists all around the world, destined and dedicated to teaching people the art of public speaking. Now, of course, you can get a lot of information from the net if you type in Toastmasters, but we want to find out more from amongst ourselves. I would like to ask or open this conversation very simply and ask Patricia, when did you first heard of Toastmasters?
Wow, when did I first heard of Toastmasters? Many years ago, to be exact. It was about, actually, I heard about it in my uni days, but I didn't care to really explore into it because I thought maybe Toastmasters just a whole bunch of people toasting bread. And that was not until 2013, 2014. That was the time when I met my healer. Like she was like my voice coach. Her name is Deborah Patel. You guys can go and Google her. And I took her communication course. The name of a course is $1,000,000 Voice. I fell in love with the course, and subsequently, I really want to become a better speaker. And my voice coach, Deborah, during that time, she told me, hey, you know what, Pat? After my session, perhaps you want to think about joining Toastmasters because they are a platform specializing in educating people so that they can really sharpen their not just public speaking skills, but communication skills and leadership skills in general. And that's exactly how I started looking seriously into Toastmasters. And, to cut my story short, 2014 October, I became a Toastmaster because I also took the MBA program with Berkshire. And truth be told, it's really funny. I really feel it's the law of attraction at work. Because when I started my MBA program, one of my passion is to really ace in all my subject. I've never been, I've, I was never a straight A student, but I just want to make sure I'm able to make my father's dream come true, you see. So I decided, okay, MBA, they talk a lot and they have to do a lot of presentation. How do I prepare myself for that? That time Berkshire just had the Toastmasters chartered. So automatically I became a Toastmaster. And truth be told, is the place not just where leaders are made, but is where dreams come true. Amazing, right, Justin?
Definitely. I was a bit interested in when you said your father's dream. What was that about?
Yes. My father's dream was actually to have any of his children to really do well academically. And my father belongs to the baby boomers. So automatically, I want to make him proud by acing all my subjects, which definitely seems to be impossible. During my entire life as a student, I was never a straight A student. I can get a few, but never a straight A student. And that automatically became something that I really want to achieve. It's a dream for me is unattainable, but I really want to make it happen to make my father proud of it. By the way, my father is not here anymore. And I felt at least I have done something to please him to make him proud. Yes. That's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
That's very interesting because I I believe we share a lot of similarities from how I started public speaking as well. It all started from a college course in just public speaking in general, and then it soon transpired when the campus that I was in wanted a radio personnel, and they started hiring event hosts, and then I started getting real gigs in real life, and then it transpired so and so off. But when you talked about your parents' goals and stuff, I felt, wow, that's amazing. Wanting to give their children the best in education. It really reminded
Right.
me of my parents as well, coming as a third to fourth generation Malaysian of Chinese descent. I've realized that my parents' goal was to send all their kids to university, and I was the last kid in the family to go to university.
Okay. You're
Yeah,
the
it was.
baby.
Yeah, I'm the baby basically, but I was really off guard when you mentioned about your father's goal because I felt it was something that really resonated with me in my own past history as well, and that's really amazing. It goes to show that with the passion of and support of somebody else, it really pushes you to
Mhm.
achieve what you might think is unachievable.
Impossible. Yes.
Yeah, and now I'm a bit curious as well. As you mentioned, you joined Toastmasters later on, later on before you really got serious into public speaking, or you were serious at the time. But what were you doing in between before you actually joined
Oh,
Toastmasters?
let me give you a little bit of my history. I have been an active teenager because my personality is an extrovert. So I love communicating with people. So when I was a teenager, I was with a church fellowship. So automatically I was, having different leadership roles, like typical fellowship. You have the president, you have the secretary, treasurer, and I began to be in that role. And I was also in a choir, and those roles gives me the opportunity to basically in front of the public, right? And I'm not afraid of crowd. In fact, I love the stage. And it's just that I never had a chance to go through a formal training, a structured program, so that I can really sharpen my skills. In fact, if I think back, I have been also an interpreter for my pastor. That time I was interpreting either from Mandarin to English or English to Mandarin. I guess those were my rather limited speaking experiences, but because it was in a church environment, I was well protected. I never knew how I can improve further until I joined Toastmasters. Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing. Definitely, Toastmasters give you a more robust and a more structured environment to learn
Yes.
public speaking, a more dedicated approach, I would say.
Yes.
And it's quite interesting to see how we all ended up there. I personally would like to share that I'm actually an introvert,
Mm.
and it's great to see diversity when it comes to Toastmasters. You get your extroverts and you get your introverts. By introverts, I don't mean that I don't dare to go on the stage and speak. I personally have done a lot of that, but it's just my personality type in general when talking to people or socializing. I'm not that out there person sort of person, but I seem to enjoy speaking in front of people for some reason, despite having this conflicting sort of characteristics. I think it's a sort of complicated sort of. Ca- I would. I'm not sure what the word to say describe it, but a very complex string of characteristics. That's how I put it.
But Justin, I really feel you have the both best of both worlds, because my voice coach, Deborah Patel, she used to, share with me herself. She was an introvert, but sometimes she can turn to be an extrovert when she's in front of the public or when she was on stage. So she actually classified herself as an ambivert. So meaning to say you have the best. Sometimes, when you're by yourself, you enjoy that aloneness, that you're all with yourself, then you are all yourself. You don't have to worry about other people. But at the same time, you can just switch when the environment changes. So that is you. Yeah. I'm really delighted that you found out that there's this something really special, really unique about Justin. Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia. That's very kind of you to say. And ambivert, yes, that would be a very good word I'll use. Why didn't I think of that? But anyway, let's go more into later on our public speaking journey. I was wondering, besides Toastmasters, have you done anything else in terms of public speaking, like maybe going out and host events, that kind of stuff?
Good question. Okay, and very, yeah, reminds me of my so-called my previous days when I wasn't trained. I was actually always a part-time MC. I used to MC a lot when my friends were getting married, both here in Malaysia and also in Canada. Because when I was studying in Canada, I was a student. A lot of my friends, we were all in our 20s. So some of them were getting married. They don't have a big budget to employ, like to ask somebody to be an MC. So I'll be the one who is going to MC for them. And yeah, because, for me, is my token, yeah, it's my gift for them. So I don't charge people. And that's how I sort of accumulated my experience as an MC. And I have also been, master of ceremony for university before. It was a night class. Yeah. But I got a job because my dad during that time, he was supporting me in a sense that he has friends who sort of were open enough to have me to MC the that convocation. Yes, that was really a great experience. Yeah, I was just lucky. Yeah. Yep.
Interesting. If
Yeah.
if you were to pick one of your most favorite things you ever hosted, what would it be?
Wow, the most favorite thing that I've ever hosted, or I would say the most memorable one, that
Mm-hmm.
was when, yeah, it happened quite many years ago. It was in Malaysia. That my dad, my late dad, was also a member of the Taiwanese Association. So every year, 10th of October, automatically they have a big celebration. It's like a National Day celebration for Taiwan. So I had a chance to MC that event. Yes, whereby I had the opportunity to really, yeah, to really host the event. It was incredible. It's super stressful because I was meeting with all the ambassadors and all the really top-notch politicians and leaderships. I mean, like leaders. So that was the most memorable event in my entire life. Yes, I got really scared, but I was so glad that people were there to support me. Yes, that was my most
Wow.
memorable event.
I would never imagine myself being in your shoes, standing amongst the shoulders of giants that are
Yes,
ambassadors, representatives of countries. That's amazing. And you've done it not, I believe,
yes.
not just once, but many times for the same group, have you?
I did it well a couple of times. Then the crowd different. Yes, the crowd were different. Yes, yeah,
Wow. That's really amazing. That's did you have to do in two languages,
yeah.
like Mandarin and English?
Yeah, I do have to. So there are certain words that I wasn't, even though I'm very fluent in Mandarin, but in formal, in a formal function, I need to pick up all those words. And I was really glad that I had an experienced MC with me. So he was there coaching me and then letting me know what sort of words, the choice of words are so important. The formal words that I need to use. Yeah, I need
Oh,
to use. Yeah, I learned a
oh,
lot. Yes.
oh man, I feel you because when I used to host events and I had to speak in both languages, it's hard to like switch in between whenever I need to. And I could totally relate when you say some words are very difficult to translate directly from English to Mandarin or Mandarin to English. Some words
Yes.
are difficult to pronounce and some words are so
Absolutely.
troublesome, such as names. Names are one of the most challenging things
Yes.
I find. Yeah.
Very. And to read it right. And we
Hmm.
have to pronounce it right. Yes. Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. So, from those experiences, you definitely gain a lot, and I'm sure not just you work on the stage, you work behind the scenes as well, trying to say, hey, you should plan this video should be out after I say this, or this crew should be doing this thing at this time. That kind of program management. I suppose you did a lot of that as well.
I was yeah, definitely. I was lucky in a sense that not just this function. Later on, I was more, emceeing for weddings and things like that. Normally, because they are my friends, so we work closely together. I work very closely to the wedding planner, and as a result, I sort of, have a little bit of insider info. But bear in mind, all these functions, right? I learned that if there's one thing I learned, I just got to be flexible because anything can happen during those functions, and I have to remain cool and calm and manage it professionally if I can. So those are the really flexible and adaptable mindset that I learned, and I truly, truly feel the adaptability to change is so important, especially, we are there. Yeah. I'm not sure about you
Definitely.
though, Justin. Yeah. What was your learning like?
It was horrendous. It was a lot of getting yelled at, getting told off, and getting complaints until I learned and learned and learned and adapted. Say similar like how you described. My experience, if you would like to listen, is
Yes.
rather similar. I started off doing a lot of campus events. I was first
Yes.
the radio personnel, and then people start pushing me to events because they wanted people to do both. Because in somehow in the event world, they want someone who can do everything. So I did a lot of
Yes.
campus events, And then sooner or later, I took a gap year to figure myself out. And at
Mm.
one wedding I attended, I met this really good MC. And through a conversation, having a coffee later, he took me as one of his mentors. I was
Wow.
his mentee, yeah, and we were doing a lot of wedding dinners. Most of my jobs were also wedding dinners. I didn't do the daikam stuff. I mainly do the dinners at night because I was more suited for that. For many reasons. One is I could speak English. I could also do Mandarin. I could do these two languages, and also I had a really good mentor who pushed me because I would have never considered doing things like this. I would have just considered doing a lot of formal events. So, oh yeah, which reminds me that my favorite event, number one event or most memorable event I ever hosted was in college where we had a press conference forum and we invited Datin Paduka Marina Mahathir as a guest host, which
Wow.
is yeah, which was the daughter of our previous prime minister, Ma- Mahathir. So it was a crazy event. I had to do a very formal event, very elegantly sort of things, and I think elegant was one of my fortes. I wasn't the hyped side person. I wasn't the person who roused crowds up. I was the person who's
Jump
very
around stage, hype
yeah
your audience.
yeah, and and if I needed someone to hype the audience, I usually get a partner. So we have the yin and yang, one person who's hot and one person who's cool. Is oh my god, I'm getting so excited talking about my history, but I should I should fast things forward. So I was after I got a mentor, I was doing a lot of that, and then when I figured out what I want to do in life, which is to pursue a career in research in biomedical science, I went overseas to study, and I also host events there as well, mainly for the Malaysian society. Coming back here recently, I didn't do a lot, but I'm looking forward to expand those skills through podcasts and conversations or Duolingo events I was thinking about. But yeah, I just thought of a question. After learning about your experiences in event hosting and how you handle such events, I really want to know, are you a systematic person or you are someone who loves to wing it when it comes to doing something?
You know what? Oh my God. I feel like you really make me feel like I'm gonna fall off my chair. um Actually, I have to say I have my own system, but I am really impromptu. Meaning to say I don't need a very structured program. If you ask me to host anything, I am comfortable enough to go with the flow. And in that regard, I'm not a systematic person. I can, last minute, give me an assignment, I can just wing it. Because I guess a part of me, I'm so that's in my DNA. And that's why I'm in the share market. For all of you who are wondering what my actual profession is, yes, I am in the stockbroking business. And in order to really understand the market, to survive, to keep on improving the market, I need to be I need to be agile. I need to have this DNA in me. And because of that, yes, I can wing it. I have I have gained that winging muscle to wing it even during last minute. Yes, give me anything last minute, I can do it.
That's
May not be
amazing.
up to your expectation, but I don't mind. I can take on the pressure.
Man, thinking about it, if since you're a great speaker and then you also work in a very crazy, unpredictable
Yes.
sort of profession, I was thinking, why don't you start a YouTube channel to talk about stock analysis or something like that? Because I've seen a lot of people online doing that, but I'm not sure. It's just something that pop out of my mind, really. But
I'm not surprised if you have that, inquiry in you, or you want to, perhaps know why I never. Actually, in fact, I have been getting a lot of requests asking me to, hey, Pat, why don't you start a YouTube on investment? Then perhaps, you can, just focus in this area. And all I have to say is right now, my passion, of course, for investment is always there, but my bigger purpose is really to inspire people to keep on improving themselves, because I feel investment skills or any skill set in particular, if you have the proper mindset, you don't need Patricia Yap. You can ask Professor Google. He'll be able to guide you. I see myself as a transformer, I'm sure, to challenge your mindset so that you're able to embrace change in a different light, in a different perspectives. And because of that, you're willing to step out of your comfort zone. That's really my favorite topic. Step out of your comfort zone to explore that unseen part of you, to explore the peak potential in you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm sharing. And that's why I'm so passionate about being on your program, Justin. And I can equally feel you and I, we are purpose driven. We all are very clear on why we do what we do. Yeah.
That's amazing. I've never thought of it that way, and it's wonderful that you shared your passions in life. I was wondering, have you been working on any passion projects, such as maybe s- being a speaker at conferences or doing a YouTube channel to just talk about these things?
What a timely question to me. Well, in fact, since MCO started last year, May 26th, if you scroll down, actually, I'm pretty much active on Facebook. Yes, I'm active on Facebook and Insta, well, sort of. And I have started my FB Live since last year, May 26th. And it's been ongoing. I've done definitely, I'm not sure how many I've done, but 300 FB Live for sure. If you want to, calculate how many hours, I seriously don't know how many hours, because I've done it even on a daily basis. And that is definitely the the passion project that I want to, share with all of you. And my topics are pretty much random. Why I do what I do? Because I do it every day, and I feel my purpose is really to encourage everyone who wants to get yourself comfortable with social media. Hey, just a click away, talk on any topic you're passionate. And that's what I'm doing. And I hope I can be an example, even though I'm scared of critique too. But I guess along the way, I try to see critique in a different light. I don't mind them giving me that feedback, even though it can be toxic sometimes. I don't mind, because I have already built enough resilience in me to understand, hey, everybody has the freedom of speech, but whether I want to buy into your feedback, whether I'm going to be influenced by your feedback and make myself miserable, I've decided I have the choice to choose or not to choose. Yeah. And that's why I have been, yeah. That's my learning. Yeah.
This is interesting. You would want to live a life that you inspire the masses, but I
Yes.
want
Yeah.
to switch this question a bit. Who inspired Patricia Yap?
Who inspires Patricia? So many people. Definitely, if I were to really want to pay my attribute, it's going to be my late dad. My late dad, Professor Yap, he actually started from a very, very humble beginning. He lost his dad at the age of 3. It was really, um, we just can't imagine, because now we are in a different era, and a lot of us are so lucky. We are like, seriously, we are rich. We are having a life of abundance. And for my dad to really take charge of his own destiny and to turn himself around, I see the value in him. My dad is an introvert, by the way. So he's not as talkative as my mom. And I learned from him by just watching him, observing him. He has been a great influencer in my life, and I want to dedicate my entire work that I'm doing now. I want to, I basically am carrying on his legacy, so that when I'm doing that, I know he's smiling from heaven. Yes, that's where I'm coming from.
That's very, very strong. That's very emotionally driven, and that's also very inspiring. I was wondering, Have you, since starting this passion project, have you had any good testimonies? Have you inspired someone? Could be a kid or adult or anyone recently or in the past.
I have been amazed. I did this project purely with the very, very simple intention to improve my communication skills because I want to be super fluent. Like Justin, you inspires me because you are very fluent, eloquent, and I know it requires a certain amount of work. So I started this project with a very simple intention. I want to be really eloquent. I want to speak English basically like amo, okay? Until people don't even know, like, Patricia Yap, are you Chinese or are you Caucasian or whatever it is? I want to speak to that level. And secondly, I want to speak Mandarin. 我是会讲中文华语的 and I hope to speak like the Taiwanese. I want to inspire people. When you hear Patricia speaking, you won't know that, hey, she actually can speak Mandarin equally well. I just want to inspire people. And thirdly, my third language, if I may, is definitely Cantonese. 我係好鍾意講廣東話. And at the same time, I took that platform to really practice my three languages. Of course, I should practice Malay, but I need to concentrate in the three languages before I move on to the next. But definitely, I love languages. I feel they are a great tool to communicate and to, with all these hours of investment, I can safely say I am a little bit more eloquent now. I don't want to be boastful of it because I know I'm not there yet, but at the same time, I can feel myself, the flow and everything. It just becomes more and more natural.
Agreed. The best investment in life is not in money, but in yourself. And that
Yes.
definitely resonates throughout your presence. I'm also impressed by your goal to be more eloquent in speaking English because myself, my Mandarin is not that great. That's why, because I've been speaking English almost my whole life. You could say it's my first language, but under the papers it's not. So I've been working on improving my Mandarin as well. 我是会讲华语，可是我的标音不是很准. So I've been doing a lot of different kind of things to improve it. Duolingo has events which I join in to just talk to people, and
Yes.
particularly I joined with the Mandarin groups who have people from China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, everywhere, and it's been quite a fun session with them to improve my Mandarin. So I hope I I do aspire to be somewhat like Patricia, able to be eloquent in many languages. Though though your goals far succeed mine, because I only
Don't
want to
worry.
be yeah.
Just say not to worry because I am many, many years ahead of you. I have eaten salt more than you for many, many years.
Oh man. Oh, anything but salt. But man, oh, by the way, welcome Adrian Gunn. Welcome to the session. Just letting you know this session is recorded, but you're free to show yourself on camera if you like. If you don't feel like it, you may turn yourself off. If you have any questions for either of us, please put it by the chat below and we'll answer your questions. Now back to our conversation, Patricia. Man, we talk about our goals, our aspirations, our interest in languages. I was wondering, what else do you have? Do you have any other particular hobbies that we don't know of?
That you don't know of, probably I'm not too sure, but if you follow me closely, you probably will sense that I love music.
Oh,
In fact,
sweet.
yeah, if you follow my FB Live, usually at the end of the session, I will sing the Phun Lao Gam Siu song. I mean, why? I just feel like it's my childhood thing. And, to sing it, it just adds flavor into my FB Live. But having said that, music definitely is part of me. If I'm able to, definitely I want to pick up my piano. I used to play the piano and I love the sound of piano. If I'm able to pick up another instrument, probably that will definitely be violin, but I'm not sure if I really have the time. So if you ask what are some of the hobbies that I really, really would like to spend more time, um, yeah, playing my piano again, and of course singing. Actually, I love singing. I used to think, or I even have a dream of becoming, a singer, but it just never happened. And that's why I guess I turned, I love the stage, so I became a speaker instead of singer. Because becoming a singer is a lot tougher than becoming a speaker, in my opinion. Yes.
Definitely, when it comes to singing, it's such a challenging art, and it's interesting to hear that you have a very deep passion in the piano, violin, and singing. I was wondering, with all these little things that little interesting facts about Patricia Yap, I would like to ask. It could be on anything. What is the one common myth about you that people get wrong? It could be your profession or your interest in public speaking. It could be anything.
Um, this is wow. In a way, it's mind blowing. I'm gonna be really, really transparent, and I'm gonna be really honest with all of you. While I appeared to be really positive, except COVID positive, really positive, really fun, really optimistic. I do have my downtime. I can be really, really down. It's just that I don't show to people, and I will have my way of dealing with it. And I just want to let all of us know that it's okay to accept the other part of us, which is not so nice. I believe human beings, we have the dark side and, of course, the good side. And after, dealing with all this stuff, I bet I'm okay to embrace the other side of me, which is not so beautiful, because that is also a part of me. So that is perhaps something that people may not sense, because when you see me, I'm always happy, usually. And there will be other sides of me that you don't see. Yes, that's for sure. That's my little secrets. Yeah, that just I save it to exclusive people who are able to embrace me with love, even though I was like, oh, out of myself. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very brave for you to share because this is something very dear and sensitive to our hearts, and it's something it's something sometimes when you take the step to share it out to the public, it shows how much you've grown from before. And I would just kindly ask if you're willing to share how long did it took you to realize that I should just accept who I am for who I am.
Oh wow. To accept who I am for who I am. I love this question because I don't have a time frame, seriously, because I believe I learned this gradually. Is a journey. It's a journey that I have to go through, and I believe we are, first of all, are very fortunate to become a human being, and the entire life is for us to really experience the good and the bad. I believe they are together. They are like twins. They go hand in hand. You can't just have the good part and ignore the bad part, or that there has to be a balance. And if you ask me exactly how long for me to take to accept who I am for who I am, is a journey. Until right now, I'm still learning. There'll be times when I hated myself, when I feel like, oh my God, I felt like this not enoughness. I know there's a lot of us, a lot. I do suffer from this not feeling good enough, this disease of not good enoughness. And this is a journey. And slowly I learn to accept myself differently. But there'll be events that trigger. So I feel it's part of my learning progress. So just go with the flow. Yeah. Go with the flow. Then you will eventually find out who you are for who you are. Yes. And there's nothing wrong to forgive or to accept the not so nice yourself in the past. There's nothing wrong with it.
Go with the flow. A wonderful quote by Patricia Yap. I was blown away by your answer because for me personally, I think I've not really, not to say I've not really accepted, but I think I've not. How do I describe this? I'm still on that journey, and I was thinking, would other people have finished that journey? but it's great to hear that you say it's an ongoing journey because you always learn new things about yourself, and I think that that learning journey is more important than the end result because I think
Oh,
the
yeah.
end result is when our lives end. So, very beautifully spoken. I have to admit that was very beautifully put together. Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
that. Now let's move on to a more upbeat and more fun topic. Let's talk about well, let's talk about travel. I heard that you're born a mixed race. Is that true?
Yes, I'm born mixed. I look very Chinese, but I'm a mixed Chinese. I used to have identity crisis because I wasn't sure if I'm Malaysian or if I'm Taiwanese or I'm just like Roja. So yeah, I was born to a Malaysian dad and a Taiwanese mom. Yeah.
I see. I had some sort of identity crisis growing up as well, but not in a ethnicity sense. It was more in my personality, because I was speaking a lot of English in a very Chinese neighborhood. I didn't felt Chinese enough to be with the Chinese, and when I went to the UK to study, I didn't felt white enough to be with the locals. I was somewhat the middle child between both parties, and it's crazy. It's
Justin,
some.
it's really crazy because I feel you. I'm going to jump in right now because I really
Mhm.
feel you. When I came back, I was really young and I went to a kindergarten. Kindergarten, I'm not going to give you the name. And when I went to kindergarten, I couldn't speak a word of Cantonese. And you wouldn't imagine how come all a kindergarten, a Chinese kindergarten, they should speak Mandarin, but no, they were speaking Cantonese, and I was basically the abandoned child. I had no friends because I couldn't speak Cantonese, and that's where I decided I'm going to do whatever it takes to study Cantonese so that I can make some friends. And I do suffer from identity crisis, just like Justin, because I always feel my English is never good enough, like the Amo. And at the same time, when I with my Chinese friends, I felt like I was not being accepted because I'm just one of the weirdo out there. Yeah. So that was my something that I really resonate with you, Justin.
It's definitely reassuring to hear that there's similar people out there, because it just makes me feel one less lonely person in this world. So thank you for sharing that too. And oh yeah, I forgot we were supposed to talk about fun stuff. Uh,
Travel, yeah, fun stuff.
wh- let's talk about travel for a bit. Where was the best or most memorable place you ever been to?
um, there are many, there were many, but if I really think back, it's definitely Canada. A part of me belonged to Canada. And what I really like about Canada is the sceneries were really great. The air were really fresh. And one thing I thought I want to highlight, people there were really friendly when I was there. Even in the morning when you are, walking along the road or whatever it is, you see people actually say hello. They do care about you. They do say hello. And yeah, super, super polite, courteous. And when I was studying, we remembered a whole bunch of, students there. They were really kind to us. Yes. Yeah. The elders, so called, they were really nice to the students. Yeah.
That's
So that was
amazing.
my fond memories. Yes.
So I believe you were studying at the time. Where were you
Yes.
at in Canada?
I was in Vancouver.
Vancouver, nice.
Yes.
I've always
Yes.
wanted to go to Canada. If you were to give advice, traveling advice on Canada, what would it be?
What would it be?
Yeah.
Make sure you lose a couple of kg before you go, especially if you want to go to Vancouver because it's just heaven out there. And you had like when I was there, we had the best chef from Hong Kong. Whatever food you name it, you had it. And one of my favorite, you won't believe it, is actually Greek food. Greek. I love
Great.
Greek food. Yes.
Like,
Every time
like,
when I go back to Canada, I need to have that.
you mean like the gyros?
gyros, and they have a lot of their own traditional Greek food, the salad, the Greek salad, even though it can be very simple. But I love it. They have a very special great wine leaves that they wrap the rice. I love all those things. I'm more towards, the herbal things. So I love all the cuisine, especially Greek. Yeah.
What
And
a
yeah, it's just with wine and with oh my God, it's just like, yeah, I'm on cloud nine.
what a surprise! Like I never expect that in Canada. One of the nicest things is food from other countries.
Yes, yes.
And I was wondering, like, once this pandemic is over and travels a leisure again, where would you plan to go on your next trip?
Yeah, Canada. Yeah, it's got to be Canada.
Canada.
Um, yes, partly because I have a lot of friends there. I have many friends instead. And actually, my godparents are still there. 即係我嘅契爸契媽. Yeah. And I definitely misses them. And they are of a certain age. So I would love to go back and see them. Yes. They are all in their late 70s. Yeah. So
I
I feel a
see.
part of me, I definitely would love to see them. Yes.
I see. Was it difficult trying to catch up with your Canadian friends since coming back here or during this pandemic?
In a way, yes, we communicate less, but in a way, we still see each other on Facebook and Insta. So yes and no, but we have to take that initiative. And sometimes WhatsApp is good too. I mean, WhatsApp, at least I remember to, send them greetings when their birthday comes and things like that.
Do they join into your inspirational Facebook Live sessions?
Not yet, but that's a great idea. Lately, I just started my FB Live by inviting a guest over, and I've done it with two guests already. So moving on, I'm planning to invite more guests to my FB Live. So it's very casual, just like me and Justin now chatting away. And I guess the important thing is really born and at the same time to offer all of us right now, because I understand now is the pandemic. A lot of us are really lonely out there, but we need friends. You see, we can't see. I mean, we can't see them face to face. We can't have that human touch. Thank God we have social media, and that's how me and Justin we connected. Regardless of where we are at the comfort of our home. That's what I love.
Exactly. I cannot imagine if we were living in the 20s and there's a Spanish flu going about. We would have
Yes.
no form of communication other than writing letters. I was also
Yes.
curious, who were the guests who joined your Facebook Live lately? Were they your
Oh,
friends or were they someone special?
so far they were really my friends, but amazingly or strangely, those people that I want to invite, they couldn't come onto my program. But when I started to invite, I sort of, if you know how it works, right? Basically, you have to take and you have to invite them. But I'm so shocked to share with you the first person who went on my FB Live. I never knew she would come. It was just unplanned, absolutely impromptu. And we had such a great time. You won't believe it. It's like, truth be told, I kind of know her, but I don't really know her that well. But the amazing thing is when we were on FB Live, oh my God, the conversation was like just flowing and we don't need to warm up. It was just like talk and talk and we had so much fun. Yeah. So that was my
Amazing.
experience. And yeah,
Like who was this person?
oh, she is actually a Toastmaster. I guess, that's where the connection is. And she belongs to another club from another place. She actually is from PJ, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Well,
I
if you're keen to know, please go to my FB Live and scroll to my first FB Live with the guest. I can't actually remember when. I think it was last month or early May. Yeah. Go and give me a follow on Facebook Live if you haven't. Yeah, please
will
scroll, okay? Then you know who she is.
will do. I'll also give you a shout out at the end of this as well. Amazing. I was wondering when you say that you sometimes when you have guests the chemistry just goes on and on. It's like magic. And
Yes.
I was wondering, do you is there a certain type of person you work very well with, or is it? I'm not sure how to word this question, but is there a certain type of person that when speaking to, the chemistry is very good?
I guess if you really ask me, I am pretty comfortable to talking to basically anybody, all right? Um, that ability never come to me naturally. In fact, I spend quite a lot of moments to really force myself, I will use the word force myself to speak with strangers. To give you a little bit of my background, when I was a student, I used to be a telemarketing not a manager, but an officer. So I was actually with a bank, and my job is to call up strangers every day and try to find out if they're happy with their bank services. And subsequently, I need to do a lot of selling. So that gives me the courage to really speak to strangers. So that I've been, doing that for quite a number of years. Actually, thinking back, I think that really, really gives me that confidence to strike a conversation with anybody. But having said that, it doesn't mean I've mastered the skill. No, I haven't. I'm still learning. But if there is a tip that I learned and I want to share with all of you, there's a secret how to strike a conversation with anybody. Do you think there would be something interesting, Justin? Would somebody really care about this topic? I want to find out. What do you think?
Of
How to strike
course.
a conversation with anybody. All right, I got that okay from you. I love that. So I'm going to share a secret with you, yeah, or with your audience. And I do feel that ability to strike a conversation is really, really important because you definitely want to have that confidence and express yourself. So if there is a secret that I want to share, is really to own yourself, to believe that you are of value and you are worthy to share your opinion, whether it's your opinion, your ideas, your thoughts, it doesn't matter, but really to step out of comfort zone. And I do feel if you are really sharing sincerely, like you're not to try to be somebody else, you just yourself, normally you will be able to start a conversation. But of course, having said that, I try to be really sensitive to people around me and to kind of, before you start a conversation, you sort of watch their body language. You got to sort of observe their nonverbal communication, and that really helps. If you can feel like they're not ready for you, so I won't say a thing. I won't utter a single word. I mean, because I have, yeah, I have learned that. Yes,
I see. So, two things I've gotten is being genuine, the most important
yes,
formula, and also
yes,
feeling the waters and like
yes.
what knowing the atmosphere, what is the appropriate response to certain things. That's a very good advice. I appreciate that. And I was wondering, have there been any memorable or funny conversations you have? Anything that's very extraordinary, something that, gosh, what just happened, sort of thing?
Justin, truth be told, my session with you is really aha. This I will remember you because you gave me this experience and I truly appreciate your willingness to be really generous to me in the first place to open up your space because you love sharing. And to me, I really, really cherish and I treasure this moment with you because I do see you as a very, very powerful influencer in your own right. I seriously am sensing something is coming out of this. I don't know what it is. But all I want to say is Justin, I am rooted for you. And yeah, if you ask me exactly, so what is that? What is it? I don't know. I don't know. But I have full confidence in you and I know you're gonna be a blessing to the people around you. And I'm so honored to be your guest.
Oh, thank you so much, Patricia. That means a lot. And we're closing now to the 1 hour mark. It's about to be 9 o'clock. For our guests who just came in, little words of heads up. This session will be recorded and posted on YouTube. You may choose to open your camera if you like. If you don't wish to be recorded on camera, you may turn that off. Now, we'd like to have a couple minutes to ask our audience if you have any questions, any at all, to ask Patricia Yap. It could be about her experience in Toastmasters, her career, her life, or maybe her hobbies. Anything at all.
Anything goes. Ask
Yeah.
Patricia anything.
Patricia Yap's AMA. now,
Yeah.
now,
AMA.
if our audience is a bit shy, you may type your questions in the chat and we'll answer them for you. But for now, let's keep the conversation going while we give our audience a couple minutes to think this through. I was thinking, what's going on with your life recently? Anything new? Anything you want to share to us?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of new things are coming up. A lot of doors have been opened to me, and I'm more than delighted and I'm humbled by the opportunity to share. And last Friday, I was given the opportunity to speak to a whole bunch of students from Beijing universities,
Wow.
different universities in Beijing, and I felt truly honored. And I was given that opportunity to share with them what are some of the employability skills right now at this pandemic. And another topic that I shared was how to ace your interview. So this talk is really for the young students who are about to graduate or even for young graduates. And I was really inspired by their willingness to learn and their responsiveness to my program. And in fact, I learned a lot from them, yes. And that is one of the experience that I had. And I was really, really honored, fortunate, privileged to be a part of that. Moving forward, I'm going to travel to another country that I've never dreamt that I am able to. And because of this pandemic, right? So the world is, in a way, our playground. We don't need any visa. You don't need to book a flight. You don't have to worry about your accommodation. So on June the 12th, I am going to be in Ghana. Ghana. Are you shocked? I can sense that even I myself am shocked as well. So I'm going to be at Ghana and I've been invited to be a keynote speaker. I'm going to be a keynote speaker for a Toastmasters event. And I am just, the thought of it, even though right now I'm sharing with you, but I'm really blown away by that opportunity. And yeah, it all happens. And I do want to encourage all our listeners out there, find out what your passion is. And your passion will show you the path. Like right now, what Justin is doing right now. You don't know where you will be going to. All you know is follow your passion, keep up that enthusiasm, and you will see magic happening.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm feeling the magic right now in this Zoom. First and foremost, like wow, the talk you gave to the Beijing students, and after that, you're flying to Ghana virtually to give a keynote speech. I was wondering, how did you get all these opportunities?
That's the amazing part. That's the amazing part. Sometimes I ask myself this question: what happened? Pat, how come you have all these opportunities? If that's a secret I want to share with you guys, I believe I want to give before I receive anything. That's always something that I picked up from my dad. And when I'm willing to give, I'm willing to share, and I'm willing to open up myself, the opportunity will just come. The doors will be open amazingly. Because, for all of you out there who are not too sure of what are some of the works I've done, I've been participating in a lot of events whereby people need help. I will go and help, especially Toastmasters events. Sometimes I will be that initiator. I will ask to be included in a team if I really like the project. So these are some of the things that I've done, and people really, basically, they know who Patricia Yap is, and I have built a certain amount of trust in them, and I'm really, honored that at the same time, when I make myself available, people really appreciate who I am. And sometimes, yeah, when they need help, they will come to me. And that's how I got myself connected to, people from Beijing, from Ghana. And, oh, talking about that, yes, I'm going to join. This is really crazy. I'm also going to join another club in the US, Orange County.
Oh.
And I'm going to meet some of the greatest leaders in Toastmasters International. And I just can't wait to be an official member. It's just really mind blowing. And I'm really opening my doors. And at the same time, I don't want to tell myself, you can't do this or you're not good enough anymore. I want to delete that part in me, just like, you want to delete some of the messages that you get in a WhatsApp, whatever it is. I want to do that and really, really focusing on that part in us that we are all probably are able to, yes, focus on that potential in you, yes.
This is amazing because it really goes to show that imposter syndrome is nothing more than a fraud. Because from what you have shown, you're someone who wants to get better at languages, but yet
Yes.
you're getting invited to speak at speak at events which people are at the best at speaking. So it's kind of like a contradictory, but yet it goes to show that just with your passion, hard work, and the devotion towards improving yourself, you can achieve anything. Where even if that thing is not what you're best at right now,
Yes.
it really is
It
something
really is.
yeah. If there's one thing I would want our listeners to take home, this will be that one thing, really. So it's amazing. Orange County, California. Like, wow, I've Ghana, Beijing, Orange County in the US. You basically traveled all around already at this
Yes.
point.
Yes.
Man, I just wonder where else could you go to? Like what like like I'm at a loss for words at this moment at this moment because it's just amazing to hear your story. So and yeah, sorry, I'm just at a loss of words. It usually means I'm very excited. Just all
You're
right.
fine, Justin. I'm seriously, I'm gonna share that I'm deeply inspired by your passion to share. All these things happen, and because of a reason, and I am so so proud of you by giving me anybody who comes to your channel this space to express who we really are. And end of the day, we are all learning together, and I believe each and every one of us, we do have the little dreams or the big dreams that we all want to achieve. And this channel, that what you're doing right now, you are giving people the space to really find out who they are and to reflect, and at the same time to give them that encouragement that we are all growing together. Justin, I feel you because I never knew all these things are possible until I'm willing to could give myself that opportunity to see that bigger part of me. And it's always a journey. And truth be told, sometimes there will be times when I'm still stuck in my own little world that I felt like, oh my God, like, am I really there yet? I think I'm not good enough yet. But I want to diminish that little voice that's no longer helping me. So if there is something that I wish all of you can take away, besides my passion, my willingness to step out of the comfort zone, is also the courage to give yourself permission to grow that bigger part of you. Give yourself that permission. Don't kill your passion. Don't kill your dream because there's nobody supporting you. End of the day, trust yourself. Whatever happened has already happened. Take that with a different light and always be your own encourager, be your own leader, and last but not least, be your own transformer. And with this, I'm so delighted to be your guest, Justin. And I am done speaking.
Thank you, Patricia Yap. And it goes to show that with just passion, anything could happen. Dreams can come true. Just look at me, I stutter a lot, and it's very natural that I stutter. But I keep pressing on because I am okay with that, and being comfortable at your flaws is what would unlock your potential, in my opinion. So yeah, definitely a very fruitful and wonderful conversation with Patricia Yap. Now we'll just take a minute to quickly look at the questions if our viewers listeners have. So in the comments we have Anna Tan asking, "What stocks are you currently analyzing this week?"
Anna, what stock am I analyzing this week? Well, we have to take this offline, yeah. But thank you, Anna, for your enthusiasm in investment. Just a little bit of tip here. We are definitely in a very volatile environment right now. Financial markets are seriously very volatile because this is not the first lockdown anymore. And I just want to caution all of you who are investing out there. The first lockdown, when it happened, a lot of companies, especially the companies in general, they had the reserve, and they had many months of reserve to weather this through. It's just that this whole thing has been here for 1.5 years now. A lot of companies are actually encountering different challenges. The cash are probably dried quite a little bit, except you are in certain industries like, of course, certain industries, if you are in e-commerce, if you are in the share market, in different industries, you can still be booming. But I have to say the majority, the base, I mean the normal traditional industries, they're all suffering. So be very cautious of what you are investing in. The market will be very volatile. So if you're investing, just be very sure of your risk profile. Then you go ahead and follow your heart, do your research. Definitely, this is where the importance of research um yeah, kicks in. Yes, you have to. You can't unless you're ready to take a gamble. Then you find that you go ahead. Yeah. Otherwise, be very cautious. And that's all I can say. That's all I can say with you at this point in time. Thank you.
And that was Patricia's answer on what she's analyzing this week. Any more questions?
Yes.
Adrian, do you have any? So calling in once, calling in twice, and that would be it. Now it's close to 9:15. I think this is a good time to end this conversation. But thank you so much, Patricia Yap. Thank you so much for being a guest here. Before we stop the recording, would you like to give yourself a shout out for your social media accounts or your upcoming events if you have any?
First of all, thank you once again to be on your channel, Justin. I am going to give a shout out for all of you who haven't been following me yet. Give me a follow on FB. My FB name is Patricia Yap. And I am on Insta as well. My Insta name is baby underscore Jolisha. Let me spell that to you. BABEE underscore JOLEECIA. For some of you who are wondering why baby Jolisha, that perhaps will be my next podcast. I don't know with who yet. That's a story behind it. So do give me a follow on FB Live and also my Insta, and I'm also on Clubhouse. So my Clubhouse name is simple. It's just Patricia Yap. With this, I am done speaking. Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you, Patricia Yap, and we'll be ending the recording right now.